Good morning, Panthers. It's Tuesday. So, how is everybody? Happy first video after the collabiversary. Even though I suppose technically this is week 2. Yes, Min. So, how is everybody? I had a long week. It was Project for Awesome this week. And we raised over $2.25 million for charity. That's pretty good, right? I moderated for, I think, 31.5 hours is what I worked out afterwards, out of 48. Not quite as much as last year, but still a lot. So yeah, I'm still sort of in the recovery process. You can probably tell. I kind of look like I'm in the recovery process from something. So let me see. What is there to talk about today? I'm still just really tired. I mean, I've slept and everything. I've slept plenty, but like I'm just kind of, that takes a lot of effort and a lot of concentration. So now I'm just like kind of mangled. A few of you talked about a whole bunch of stuff that I was going to respond to, but I made notes and now I have forgotten everything. So, I mean, like I have the notes here, but like I don't necessarily remember what I was going to say, which again is a problem of my note taking, apparently. I think that I will remember what I plan to say when I take the notes, but then I get there and it's all gone. I don't know. I have no idea what I was going to say about any of it. I enjoyed hearing about your journals. That is cool. I generally, my system at this point is I have my like journals I keep on the computer because I can't write that much anymore because I have trouble with my hands. So, trying to do any kind of long form writing by hand is really hard these days. So I type instead. And then I have my like bullet journal type thing that I mostly use to keep track of whether I've taken my meds or not, and that kind of thing. And then I have like a to-do list. What do we got here? A to-do list just on like a regular tablet. This one's looking pretty abused. As you can see, I sometimes set cups of tea on it, so it's got all these sort of rings. The tape is a new thing I've been trying out as like tabs just to see where, like, if I can like to use to keep my place. It's made with painter's tape, so I can just peel it off and stick it back on again when I change to a new page. Seems to be working pretty well so far. One of these, I keep thinking that maybe like one of these days I will do like a sort of actual, how like people do like a bullet journal walkthrough kind of thing. I keep thinking that would be sort of fun to do because I haven't done anything like that on the channel, although we have sort of vaguely talked about bullet journaling and like notebook keeping and stuff. But I have to like figure out how to set it up with my little tripod thing and stuff. And also like every time I think about it, I just think, well, there's nothing interesting in my bullet journal. Like it's just trackers, basically, various kinds of trackers. That's it. And like a calendar situation that I only use for keeping track of making tinctures and things. So like not really interesting. Now I've lost my notes. Oh no. Hang on, I gotta find the right page. No, I've lost it. There we go. So ADHD, ADHD, boy, that's just like a theme, isn't it? Yeah, I don't really remember exactly what I was gonna say about it. I've been following there are some accounts on Twitter and stuff that are fairly well known accounts at this point, that are sort of ADHD based, and they put out a lot of information. They're people that like have ADHD themselves. There's one that I follow that I can't think of the name of at the moment because I have ADHD, who makes like comics about her life with ADHD, and they're mostly like informative. She means it as like an very tired, as like an informative educational resource. Actually, I mean, they are sometimes funny too, but like mostly they're meant to be for people to understand ADHD better. And so she gives out a lot of information, and then also people in the comments of her posts talk a lot about their own lives, and like that kind of thing has been extremely helpful to me in figuring out things that I do that fit into the ADHD paradigm. Because it can present in so many different ways, and especially for people who have other things that might affect the way it presents, which I do, that kind of thing has been the most helpful, like hearing about other people's personal experiences. So yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what else I was going to say about it. I don't know. That's the thing I came up with. The Swiss retirement community, yeah, it was. I had forgotten all about it too, and then I don't know. Something reminded me of it here a while back, and then I don't know. The thing that I was talking about the other day, started it as well, so I thought that's weird. That's a whole thing that was like a whole conversation that we had that I had completely forgotten about. We talked about it for a while. And then it just kind of went away, and I had completely forgotten about all of it. So it was kind of fun to think about that again. And plus, it just kind of makes a good in-joke, which is something that we have a lot of, I think, at this point, to some degree. We have a lot of like references, I think, because we've been doing this for a very long time now. Home videos, yeah, like in the 80s, in the early 80s, like when I was a little kid, home video setups were like huge. They were, they were enormous, and they were really expensive, and like they were just difficult. And you had to know how to use them. They required more like actual knowledge. And then, so like I didn't even know anybody who had anything like that. And then later on, I started getting like things like handheld like video cameras. They were, by current standards, they were massive, but by the standards of the time, they were very small and portable. But they were like, they were gigantic. They were like the size of a suitcase, and you had to lift them up on your shoulder, and they were really heavy. And you put an entire VHS cassette in them, and they had like a door on the side, like a tape player, and you had to, shut an entire VHS cassette in there. And we had one of those later on that was given to us by someone. And by that point, it was so old that it was like obsolete, basically. But it didn't work very well. And again, my family does not sorry, bumped the table. My family doesn't really take pictures. We certainly weren't going to like take videos of things. So, I mean, we had it, we kind of messed with it a little bit, but like it's not something we ever really used. And again, it was like obsolete by the time we got it. So, yeah, that was sort of our you know, the closest we got to an excursion home video. And I was in high school by that point. I was like, I don't know, 15 or something probably. It was like the mid-90s. So yeah, we didn't have anything like that. We didn't take any kind of video ever or anything. And then, you know, later on when like digital photography and stuff started to become more of a thing, and so you could get like digital cameras that took video, like little, you know, little bitty ones. That was like way later. And again, my family doesn't do that, so I don't know. I'm already at almost the 11-minute mark here, and I've gotten like nowhere. I have written on my notes as the next thing 15-minute videos, and like, yeah, I mean, like what you were saying, like I always like feel bad when I do it myself. Like, this is not interesting. I'm just rambling for like 15 minutes, and nothing that I'm saying is in any way like useful or fun or anything. I'm just making mouth noises essentially for 15 minutes. But I like it when other people do it, so I mean, I guess I'm like participating, setting a good example. I don't know what's happening. I never know what's happening at this point. I have year 11 written on here, and I don't have any idea what I was going to say about it. Like, I remember that you made a comment, and apparently I was going to reply to something in particular, but I don't know what it was. So, sorry. But yeah, like, year 11, wow. That's a long time. I was very amused by your story of watching stuff on the group, you know, on the Your Pants official channel. Like, it literally made me laugh out loud. So like, I appreciate the story. Your nano book, I was going to say something about that, but again, have forgotten all of this stuff. I remember that I was thinking like that, you know, it's a first draft, so like any of the stuff that you wrote in it that you think is like, why did I write that? It's because it's a first draft. Like, first drafts are always weird, and also you can write anything you want in a first draft, is fine. And especially since it was not a draft that you planned for anyone else to ever see or like, you know, have any kind of like contact with. It was just for you. I mean, I think it's fine. It's fine if it has weird stuff in it. You can fix it if you want other people to read it. And if not, you can just have it for yourself. Like, it's fine. It's fine. I bet it was nice, though, just to write something that was totally for yourself and that you weren't, like, putting any kind of, like, limits on or, like, in any kind of particular box. Just, like, to write something just totally free. Like, that must have been really nice. So Oliver, thank you for making our dance video. That was really great, and I really enjoyed it. I've watched it multiple times, and I like it very much. It was nice that you included like a little bit of footage from the original video, even though like right at the end there. I was very surprised to see how short my hair was. But yeah, that was neat. That was a good idea, and I liked it, and I had a really good time watching it. So thank you for making that, because it was fun. And like Phoebe said, I'm really glad that we did something, you know, like that we made some kind of a celebratory gesture, because it's been a long time, and it's so great that we have made it this far. Like, I'm very pleased with it. Quit whacking me. Don't push. She doesn't like when people crowd her, but she does not mind crowding me, let me tell you. So, anyway, we are now at the 15-minute mark. So I feel I have done my duty. And I guess I will stop talking now. That's probably a good idea. It's going to take a while to upload this. So I love you all very much. I'm very glad that we're all still together. Oh, I was going to say, on the first day of Project for Awesome, which was Collabiversary Day, and I was moderating in the chat, and Leo, of all people, showed up. And we sort of, I mean, I was too busy to talk, like actually have an actual conversation, but like we said hi to each other, and I was like, you know, happy Collabiversary, did you know today's the day? And he was like, I did know that. So like, you know, we kind of said hi and everything and said goodbye later on when he left the chat. I was still in the chat because I was moderating. So yeah, and then I saw him again briefly at the end of P4a. So like, that was kind of cool and like a weird coincidence. So yeah, we're at 16 minutes now. I'm going to stop talking. Okay, I love you very much. Have a good week, and I will see you next week. Don't forget to be awesome.